Was that Ēalā? It's hot to Kevin? Oh my lord. Leornende Eald English now has 2,000 subscribers. Whew. I'm just blown out of my mind. I'm not even going to edit this. I'm just going to do it raw, one shot. Whew. Wow. I mean, this channel was created in September 5th, 2014. I mean, I've come a long way. Yeah, I've come a long way. And I have to admit, some of you may be thinking, ah, well, he has a degree in it or whatever. No, I don't. I don't. And even if I did learn Old English formally in upper education, you know, university and all that, I would have taken, my steps for teaching Old English would have been very more academic focused, and not so much in the fashion I do it now, in this informal kind of, in a context of a living language. I mean, the way I see Old English is that, yes, I keep on saying time and again that it's a reborn language, but I also see it as if it were like a reborn language, but like the context that it's like a, how can I guess an analogy to put it would be, or metaphor would be, like a minority dying language, but like in the case of Old English, it's like springing to life. It's like fighting tooth and nail to survive, and that's why that's why I'm so diverse in my work. You know, songs, those spells, and all sorts of videos to, you know, like really get the language alive. You know, if you really want something bad enough, you have to really fight for it. You know, anything worthwhile in life, it takes a lot of effort. And to revive a 1,000-year-old language is not easy. I mean, here's another secret. Well, another confession. You know all those Facebook pages that some of you see, like learn useless Old English, learn useful Old English, and English memes and all that. I'm behind all that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have people helping me out and like as contributors and all that. I mean, but yeah, I'm really trying to get this language out there. Because I say this time and time again that we can make our world a beautiful place. I mean, life is only good as we make it. I mean, you know, with a language, you can play with it. You can, you know, and it has a life of its own. Who knows? Who knows? In the future, there'll be, okay, this is unlikely in my lifetime, in your lifetime, who knows? But, you know, maybe a group of people, a small town, I don't know, have taken Old English too seriously to the point where they form their own little dialect of it. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, anything could happen at this point. I mean, life is full of surprises, and or it might not end up like that, or it could be just you know, just a fad for a lot of people. That, oh well, Old English, that sounds nice, I'll learn for a few months and then forget about it. And but who knows how organically this language will, you know, surface. It may, I don't know, but I'm ever so thankful for all of you who have supported what I do, and I'm just gonna say this in Old English. It's þancie Ēalā. It's þancie Ēalā. For those of you who just found my channel and don't know what that means, ich is I. And þancie is I thank, you know, from thanking to thank, and Ēalā is it's you, but it's not, it's in the dative case. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Old English has 5 inflected cases: nominative, accusative, genitive, dative, and instrumental. You can, if you don't know all about that, you can learn about that in my series called Linguistic Terms. But anyway. 2,000 subscribers. You know, I'm pretty, I don't know, again and again I say this, I've been saying this in my videos, you know, I've been having this gut feeling that a lot of people want to learn this language, but they can't find the right avenue to learn it in, or just can't find any information on it. And what made me start this channel, yeah, I might as well tell you all now, for those of you who don't know. What got me into all this? Well, I mean, throughout my life, well, since high school, secondary school, I've always known about Old English, but I wanted to be able to read, like Beowulf to my future children in Old English, and not only just read it, but like read it out loud, and not only that, just to understand the words itself, so it becomes more natural, so I understand what each word means and what context they mean, because obviously the people back then think in many different ways than we do now. You know, I mean, that's the thing with people today. Even I make some of these kind of mistakes where I think in modern English and for Old English word that's kind of similar to now, but the context then is much different. So that's something to bear in mind when you're learning Old English. But yeah, that was mainly the first catalyst. But then before I got into Old English, I was really into folk music, Canadian and English, well, mostly Canadian folk music, and reviving that to connect people to their history. But then I want to go a step further, and Old English, I want to connect people to their linguistic history, you know, and hopefully give people a kind of sense of pride in their language, and especially in England, where you have these dialects throughout, you know, each county and whatnot, and they have a lot of older words that have been older words that have descended from Old English words, and I apologize for that. It turns out that my battery had died. It's all good now. I've replaced it. So yeah, so a lot of words, you know, in these dialects in England, you know, descend from Old English, and it's good to preserve that, give people sort of a pride that, you know, preserve their dialect and whatnot, hopefully. But what we are doing as well, you know, as we are learning Old English together, because the thing is, when I started doing this channel, I knew very little about Old English, and the kind of approach I was having towards teaching this language was kind of learn it together, because obviously the audience of this channel is very diverse, from someone who just found out about Old English to someone who actually has a PhD in it. And so it's kind of like crowdsource, if you will, kind of pool in all the resources together to learn this language, because you know, every time I go into learning Old English, I learn something new every time. You know, especially when I go on Bosworth and Toller online dictionary. I mean, every time I go on the words on the left side there, I always learn something new, which is always fun, and it's very mentally stimulating, I must say. But however, together, what we are doing, we are changing the context of Old English, how people perceive Old English, because right now in the academic world, I've been told this by the very man who taught me Old English, that Old English, even today, is seen as a language. Well, the attitude is, well, we just learn this language so we can understand where English comes from, and to read texts like Beowulf, nothing more. And you know, I've seen it with this attitude with my own eyes. You know, I remember I had this course I did in university, Roman history, and the guy, the professor, you know, Englishman, and like he was saying how great, how Latin and Greek are, you know, these civilized languages, and when he talks about Old English, it's like this kind of unintelligible, kind of like barbaric tongue, you know, when in fact, Old English, I mean, if you, yeah, it always seems archaic and weird and whatnot if you don't look at it often, but if you put in a context that it's like relevant today, or different context of how we're doing it, you know, it I don't know, it really changes the attitude. Because even, yeah, like I said, you know, a lot of people see Old English as this archaic specimen. Ah, yes, we have this manuscript here and we're going to read it and examine every word and whatnot, but, well, not anymore. I mean, because Old English, I mean, there's enough of it, there's enough of it, excuse me, there's enough of it out there that it can be revived to some certain degree. I mean, of course, we don't have everything of it, I mean, but it has an extensive, there is an extensive lexicon of Old English that's out there, vocabulary and words and whatnot. And even the words that we don't have can be reconstructed. And I'm letting you know now, Old English at this point is, oh dear, Old English, as far as reconstructions go for modern things, I mean, my opinion is that it's not ready, because Old English right now is an infant language, and it's the thing is, what needs to be understood is that I mean, I'm not even there yet with my learning of Old English. That what needs to be learned first about Old English is the nuances. What's more casual to say, what's more natural to say in Old English, than how we modernly perceive Old English. That's something to really bear in mind, because it's easy to look at Old English in the context of modern English and think, well, this means that, so it must be that. Yes, there are false friends in Old English, and there are some true friends in Old English, but most of the time, well, I mean, it's a real mix of the two. It all depends on the context, like I said earlier. You know, but we are making a difference. I mean, even if you're not subscribed or you are subscribed, the fact that you give this video and all my other videos a view, I mean, you're helping the cause of making our world a more interesting place. I mean, further, I mean, my other channel, you know, learning old Germanic languages, I mean, I want to inspire other people to revive their old Germanic language, like Old Swedish, Old Danish, Old High German, Old Saxon, Old Frisian, Old Norse, Old West Norse, Old East Norse. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, I mean, imagine a film and like the whole thing's in Old English and like better than Vikings, by the way. Hopefully, you know, the whole thing will be in Old English, and it'll be the time, and the film will be in the time period of that language. I mean, how cool would that be? You know, but we're not there yet. There's a lot of work to be done. Or a film in the whole thing's in Old Frisian, and you know. You know, it's who knows how Old English on the internet, or in the world, if you will, how it will grow organically, and we can do that together. You know, together. You know, with this channel, with my other channels, and you know, but really, I can't thank you guys enough, because this is my passion. You know. And if anyone younger than me, I'm 24 by the way, anyone younger than me, my best advice to you is that explore everything you can. Explore as many topics as you can. Go on your computer, you know, if you're interested in something, look it up. Because you never know. Something within that broad thing, like I'll give you an example. Let's say you're into drama. You know, maybe some specific thing about drama that you really like that can be the gateway into a specific subject that you find a passion for. You know, some people, they go through life not really discovering what they want to do, and then they end up with something what they don't like. You know, I mean, I got back and I got interested in Old English again on a whim. You know, to see, you know, to do some more research, and I did, and I found grammar books, I found primers and whatnot, and you know, they were hard to read, and don't get me wrong, but you know, explore. That's all I'm gonna say, and learn as much as you can, because the world is a beautiful place with a lot of things to know and things to learn. I've spoken a lot in this video. I guess this is my way of celebrating my 2,000 subscribers. You know, I mean, oh boy. You know. In fact, by the way, if this channel, hopefully, in sometime in the future, that, for sake of scenario, let's say the channel gets up to 10,000 subscribers, that would make this channel legible to be used at a YouTube space, and there are some of them throughout the world, but there's one in the city I'm in. I won't reveal what city that is, because you know, I mean, because the thing is, there's a defined line I have to make between the viewer and, for lack of a better term, the talent. Because, you know, I mean, I have to remain professional, even though right now I'm speaking to you very plainly. But hey, I mean, honesty is the best policy, right? So, anyway, yeah. So it'll make this channel legible to use the YouTube space. You know, like a whole set, a whole professional cameras and stuff like that. I mean, that sounds cool. But you need 10,000 subscribers to do it. Kind of tricky, but yeah, but thing is, again, I mean, yeah, we're putting Old English in different contexts, and other Germanic languages in a different context too. We are, in a way, formulating an online community, you know, of learners from different levels, and some who have a background and some who completely don't have a background, you know. Yes, the language is hard, but it's a fun kind of hard. I mean, I'm telling you now, once you start getting it, and once you start, like, understanding the basics and whatnot, you have this wonderful feeling of, like, achievement. You know, yeah, I learned a 1,000-year-old language and I can write in it and I can speak it, you know, and that's the feeling I have when I started to get it. Because yes, at the start, especially for English speakers, it is the most hardest thing that you can ever come across. I mean, it has genders, it has inflected case system. What's that? You know, but I'm here for you guys to make your learning process, your learning journey, an easier one. But at the same time, mentally stimulating and well, fun and mentally stimulating. That's mainly it, really. Because things, if it's too easy, then, you know, it gets boring, right? No, you need something. Well, in theory, you know, people like a mental challenge. Right. Well, I've spoken a lot in this video, and I think I'll end it now. And 2,000. Whew. Thank you. Thank you so much. Was Ēalā? It's Kevin. Get out.